Poor is the student who does not surpass his master. This is a very, very powerful and profound quote, a statement made by Leonardo da Vinci. And it was shared with us in the community yesterday, because it kind of coincided with what was going on. And you'll see, later on in the recap. But if you're a true teacher, you really understand what that means. As a teacher, I wanted my students to take what I was teaching them and go out in the world and expand upon it. Now, if you think about it, if all students did was go out and do what they were taught and not anymore and never grew, none of the technological advances that we have, that we're enjoying today would be possible. So the students, when we teach them what we know, and we've mastered it to a certain level, and it's up to them to go out and expand upon what we teach them. And then, so how does it relate to what we're doing here in Average Joe Trading? I'm giving you my roadmap this year. The exact roadmap that got me to where I am today in my trading. Now, I went down wrong paths and did some things that weren't very smart. I'm not sharing that with you, or that's not on my roadmap. I'm giving you the things that you can be successful. So how can you use that? You take that roadmap. It's just like any other trip you go on. If you've never been there before, you're going to follow the map to the T. You're going to follow those directions so that you ensure yourself of getting there. Now, the next time you go, you may not follow those directions. You may have learned about a different route from somebody else, or through experience, you found a different route that may be a little bit more enjoyable to you and your family. So you know that no matter what, you've got this roadmap that I've given you through trading that I know works, that I know will get you to where you want to be. So let's say you go out and you start expanding and you start doing different things and you get lost. You always know that there's a roadmap that I share with you that you can use to get back on track to get to where you want to go. But you never want to stay there. You always want to grow, expand, try to be better. For me, it's all about learning every day, trying to get better, trying to grow, and then continuing to share my experiences with you. And it's very, very important. I'll never forget the first time I had a student come back to me and thank me for giving them the foundation to be who they are. This student only worked, he did an internship for the last semester he was in school, which was like from January to the end of May. And then they hired him full-time in June. He worked full-time. And because of the foundation that I gave him, that drive, and to let him know what's out there, he was able to go in and seize the opportunity. And he came back to me after he got his W-2s sometime at the end of January, beginning of February of that next year, and showed me his W-2, and it was bigger than mine. He made more money than I did teaching. Here's a kid, 18 years old, and I'm, 30 at the time. I'm like almost twice his age. And this kid that I taught went out and did that. It didn't make me feel bad. It made me proud. And it lit a fire under me to make sure that I gave all of my students the drive and the desire and the understanding that you can reach higher heights. Okay, yeah, there's some students that are going to aspire to be me, that this is all they want, and that's fine. But there are others that are going to want to do more and be more and grow much larger and outside of those virtual four walls in that classroom. So you guys at Average Joe Trading, that's what I want for you. I want you to be better than me. I want you to grow outside of our community and just blast through those virtual four walls in our classroom, and then come back and say, hey, look, Ed, look at what I've done. That's what I like to see. And that's my goal, that's my vision. You know, that's why I'm doing the things that I'm doing. You know, I'm giving you everything I've got. And I'm not nickel and diming you at all. You know, one subscription, you get everything. You know, you get everything. So, you know, I hope you understand, you know, what that quote means and why it's so powerful and why it impacts me, you know, to the point to where, you know, everything inside of me just wants to burst out and give it to you. So you can take it and just run with it. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at what we did yesterday and this week, this past week. It didn't turn out the way I wanted it to. I was really disappointed, but we're green. We're making progress toward achieving our goals. So that's what's important here. All right, guys, so come on in and let's take a look at what we got. All right, guys, we're going to start with our Grow Your Dough Challenge trade. Last week was not a good week for it. We lost about 1% on this. And you could see, I think last week we were at 5.6% or 5.8%, I think, on the gains on the trade itself. But you see, we had a pullback. We hit this level of resistance and had a little pullback here. Well, a significant pullback, 2 to 50. Now, you're going to have these. This is swing trading. You know, you're going to have swings, hence the name, swing trading. It's going to be swings in the price up and down. You can't, if you're sitting here watching this intraday, and there are a lot of people that got out of this stock right here on Wednesday because it was pulling back. They got out. You know, you can't watch a swing trade intraday. You can't watch it tick for tick. It's a swing trade. You manage it on the daily chart. So as long as the stock is in play on the daily chart, we have to give it its due. And it's still in play. You can see we still made higher lows. We did make a higher high. Of course, you know, the wicks here ran up to this 22 level. But you can see the body stayed below this 1494 level. And this is a very significant pivot. And it's got to break this in order for this trade to work. So this pullback should have built up enough strength to allow it to break through this next week. Now, if it can't break through this next week, then I'm going to have to make an executive decision as to whether I want to keep this on or not. You know, the potential in the stock is great. Good upside potential. If the government shutdown ends and it ends with a compromise to where they're going to use more drone technology, this company's going to explode. This company is who's behind, you know, the drone technology that will be used on the fence line. So this could explode, or if they tend to just go with a physical wall and they don't add the technology in, you know, it may not do so well. But technically, if you're just looking technically, this trade is still in play. You know, fundamentally, the trade is still in play, albeit it's kind of stagnant in terms of the fundamental news. But you're getting some major players buying into this, which, you know, kind of makes me feel a little bit better about this position. So you can see we got in here. It's been about 8 or 9 days. And we've only picked up 4%. We've got as high as, you know, almost 7% before the pullback. But, you know, like I said, this is the nature of the business. You don't know what the market is going to do from one day to the next. You have a strategy that you use that gives you an edge. And you have to believe in that edge. You have to have confidence in that edge. And you have to trade it without question. If you question it and you don't have confidence, that's when it causes you to take your trade off when you see a move like this. You don't have confidence in the overall strategy. You're not looking at the big picture. And it's very, very important that you do that and allow this thing to go. This is a year-long challenge. It's, to see how long it's going to, how can we grow this in a year? And it's using the same strategies that I use to swing trade with. And quite often we do see these move faster, but we do see some that move slower. Some of the swing trades I've done last year in my main account have taken several weeks, but then we got a huge return on it. So it is possible. It's not dead. Do I know what's going to happen? No, nobody does. Unless you're the person moving the market, you have no idea what's going to happen. And even then, you don't know if anybody's going to come in and combat you if you try. So we have to understand the market is random. And all we can do is trust our strategy, trust our analytics. That's going to, give us an edge, and let the trade work, because it's either going to work or it's not. And if it doesn't work, it can't affect us any worse or any better than if it does work. We just have to keep an even keel and keep on working. So we're going to look for this to continue to move and grind its way back up. 16, this level up here, 52-week high, is my final target on this. On all of my 20 EMA crossover setups, that is what I'm looking for. I'm looking for it to hit and tap the 52-week high, just like TWLO did. TWLO was a lot sketchy this week. It actually stopped us out. Well, no, I didn't. That wasn't what stopped me out. It didn't work, really. I mean, yeah, I got a piece of it earlier this week, but it did come back and stop me out at break even. So, not a very good deal. I think we went red on it one day as well. But that doesn't have anything to do with this. So the bottom line is I'm going to continue to, hang on to this as long as it stays in play, and, let it run. All right, now on Team. This was an incredible trade, and this is what sparked the quote. Now, one of our members shared this quote in chat, the one that we shared at the beginning, and this is what sparked it. This is a trade my son took. Now, he was home sick, allegedly sick, on Friday, and he really wasn't feeling well. But we wanted to engage. I'm wanting to teach him, how to trade. Look, the country's changing. Gone are the days where a 9-to-5 job is the safest and securest. Here's some of the people who felt they had some of the safest and most secure jobs because they work for the federal government. They're home without work right now. There's no guarantee when they're coming back, and if their job's going to be there when they get back. Several years ago, and one of the things that prompted me to start learning how to trade and how to start ensuring that I was able to provide regardless was our state started furloughing workers. And, there was some question about the teachers' pay. There was some questions about teacher positions, in non-essential programs. Like if you didn't teach math, science, English, and even then, they would combine classes so you have even larger class sizes and fewer teachers. And, that kind of shook me. I'm like, hey, we need to start learning how to be financially independent and not rely so much on our paycheck, because we never know when it's going to go away. And whenever we're working for somebody, we may think we're secure. You never know. You never know these days. So trying to I've been introducing him to the market, and this is one of these solid trades. Now, he's made many solid trades, but this is one that we did yesterday that was just on point. And, admittingly, I was kind of more focused on, watching him go through this, and I didn't really get to trade well on my own, as you'll see. But whenever you see somebody that you're teaching taking things to the next level and moving on and executing with the confidence that you would love to see all of your students execute with, it's an incredible feeling. It's an emotional feeling, and very emotional, very powerful. And I have to admit, it kind of shook me up a little bit yesterday. But let's take a look at the trade real quick. This is the first 5-minute candle, and then the next candle here was this very indecision candle, but this is a 52-week low. Okay, so this was what we were looking to base our trade off of. It kind of trumps this 5-minute opening range deal. Whenever you have a 52-week low and the stock is broken through it and it's holding as resistance, you got a good chance for a huge wash. And that's exactly what we got here. Now, it ran up on earnings, but look at what was happening pre-market. We just kept kind of making series of lower highs. You could see the overall trend. We were just kind of grinding down. It showed no sense of strength here. And we even had a member post in there that he felt, when we were doing our analysis of it, he said he felt that it was going to sell off today. He had that feeling based on some of the analysis that we do pretty much on every stock. One of the things we look at is, does we look at the earnings? What's behind the earnings? Because we know the stock price now is forward thinking. It's based on where investors think the stock's going to be in the future. So at this point, based on everything, they don't feel that this is going to be, higher in the future at this point. So unless some things change, we're going to lose some value in the stock. And that's just what happened here. Technically it was telling you a story. Fundamentally, it was telling you a story. So obviously you're going to think, hey, it's probably going to go down. Now, you don't know whether it's going to go down today, tomorrow, next week. It may have held this for a while. But when we're day trading, we're looking at what's happening that day. What's setting up that day, because we want to trade that day's volatility. And you can look at this and see we were coming down. And that's exactly, what we got. So he based this off of the 52-week low and, got in. Now, had we closed back above this, trade's dead. But look at all of the resistance he had in his favor. Look at what we had. We had the 50, the 20, the 9, the 100, and the VWAP above the price action, and all were trending down. It wasn't just one or two. They were all trending down. Yeah, we had the 5-minute opening range low, but when we're like I said, when we're dealing with the 52-week low, and then we've got everything here, it trumps that, and we can make the decision to trade below it. And so that's what happened. First target's going to be the 200. Obviously, you want to pick the next level of support, potential support, to take it off. Here, took off half. We covered half here. Come down. 94.50 was the next logical target. $half mark. I felt, this might have been a little bit too close. And the way this thing was washing out and the weakness it was showing, I felt that was logical. Now, I honestly felt we were going to bounce here at 93. So we were looking for the reversal here. And this is a trade that I actually took in my account, was the reversal here. But you can see we didn't have any strength. Nothing to push it up. And I was looking for a nice bounce back up to the 9 or potentially this 95 level. We just didn't get it. So, got stopped out on this move, the potential reversal. But they jumped back in because we were getting ready to lose the red to green. Okay. And in this market, me personally, I'm going to be a little bit more conservative. But here, the pupil that's moving beyond the master is going to be a little bit more aggressive. And he's going to get in, anticipating the loss of red to green. And it is a logical anticipation. Because if you look at the price action, it's telling you the story. So you can make a really good case and take the trade, with some confidence. And came down. I think it didn't quite get to the 91 was the target, and then 96.50 was the next target. 90.50 was around the next target, was where this level was. And then you had a target here of 88.50, and that might have been my influence that was a little bit wrong. Honestly, I should have put it at 88.50, but 88.60, which is above the level. But because of all of this, I started getting aggressive, and I told him to put it at 88.50, and it didn't hit it. So, we had to withstand all of this and ended up getting stopped out here. But solid on 100 shares, trading 100 shares all day. 377.10. This doesn't happen every day. Obviously, you're not going to see it every day, but you can see it once or twice a week. You do this once or twice a week, your account grows. And before you know it, you can start taking this 200 shares. 200 shares, you double your money. 300 shares, excuse me, you can triple your money. So you got to think about it in these terms. You're starting small, but you're starting to grow. 100 shares of this, let's say, and let's just round it up to 100. So 100 shares, all you need is $10,000 in buying power. Okay, so how big of an account would you need if you were at 6-1? All you need is about $1,700 in your account, and you could take a trade like this. Small size, easily to your risk is easily managed. And you can grow your account. That's what I'm trying to teach you guys. That's everything behind what I'm trying to teach. Why I start small. Because when in the beginning, you're not going to have the confidence to allow trades to work like this. You're going to make mistakes. And if you do, you rather make them with 100 shares or 50 shares versus 500 or 1,000 shares. Because you can lose your account really quick. So develop these trading skills. Develop the confidence in your strategy. And then I want to see you break out of those virtual four walls that we have in our class and make it happen for you. That's what I want to see as a teacher. So excellent trade. Unfortunately, it wasn't in my account, so I can't count this toward my small account total, but very, very proud nonetheless. All right, so for me, okay, Johnny come lately here. Okay, of course, all through this I missed it. So I waited and said, I'm going to catch this bounce. So I'm getting antsy. I'm watching his account rack up the money. So I'm ready to, go. I mean, it's my account too, but because, he's not 18 yet, he can't open his own account. But it's the one that he trades. But I can't count it, so I'm not going to count it. This is the account that I'm trading. It's the one that we started with $5,000 with at the beginning of the year. And, I tried look for the reversal. Didn't happen. Now, several other reversal trades that we've taken in the last couple of weeks have been solid. This one was just too weak. And most of the ones that worked are the ones that ran up and sold off. So it's easier for a stock to go down than up. So it's probably why I gravitated to shorting. But this one didn't work. And on top of that, I made a mistake. I went in with 200 shares. Instead of me getting out, I actually bought 200 more shares. Since I'm used to shorting, and I did it subconsciously, I actually thought I clicked sell. But, after going on with, got online with people at SureTrader thinking that it was a mistake. It wasn't. I accidentally clicked it, which I can see. I've got dyslexia, so, I can accept the fact that I would accidentally do it. Unfortunately, we had the buying power to be able to get 200 more shares. And then I quickly got out of it because it wasn't going up. It just was not going up. And so that kind of shook me. And instead of me flipping it short here, like we did in the other account, I didn't. I waited and got in down here and had to withstand this storm just to try and get a little bit of profit out of this. But this was just, this was trading and not really focusing on what you're doing. Trying to look at two things at one time is never a good idea. But ended up losing $88.59 on this deal. So not a very good week in the small account. We did finish green, but 2 very loose days in this. All right, so the trade that helped me pump my chest out a little bit more was this Tesla trade. I didn't take it at the open. Again, I was just kind of distracted. So once I was able to get my mind free, I was able to get in. I was waiting for the bounce. I didn't chase this. And even though chasing it would have been profitable here, I am not going to get into that bad habit. I'm not. So I was waiting until we got the bounce. It didn't bounce all the way to the 9. But as it came down, you know, I got it once we broke the low of this candle, and got some here at 313 in the 313s, which was really nice. Okay, here's the short. Here, well, this is one. This is the first short. Okay, this jumbled up. I don't know why it got jumbled up. I gotta fix it. But this was the first short here at 10:09, and here was the first cover here at 10:13 was 313.75, and then the second cover at 316.27. I got a little bit of slippage, about 20 cents, which sucked. Well, actually, it was more than that because I had it at 316 even, so I got 27 cent slippage. Not very nice. But then we kept showing weakness here, and excuse me. I'm sorry, I think I'm coming down with something. And then, you know, right here, I saw where we were getting ready to roll over, and got in, and it kind of held for a while. And then finally we sold off, and I got the meat of the move. I missed the beginning and didn't get the end because 10 minutes, within 10 minutes after I got out, this was my final target, 305. And I put a hard target in there because what happens to me too often is I won't take it and it bounces and I lose my profit. So I put it in saying this is my target, this level right here. And I got it. But then look what happened. We got the sell-off. These two candles sold off 5 points after I got out. This is the type stuff that causes relatively good traders to start taking chances. It wakes up that greed in us. Because I'm like, 5 points on 50 shares, that was another $250 that I left on the table. But I could have lost $600 trying to get an extra $250. That wouldn't have made sense. So you have to stick to your plan. And we caught the meat of the move. So really, really solid here. I'm very happy with that. I'm not going to complain about it. Not at all. All right, so let's see how things ended up for the week. Okay, so if you look at our Grow Your Dough Challenge, we've got a 3.29% growth overall, and this is calculating based on the $1,000 that we started with. So where our position is now, we're up 3.29%. Still better than any interest you would get by just leaving your money in the bank or putting it under your mattress. So we're still good. And again, that trade is still looking like it's got some good potential. So looking at the week here, really not the week I expected with earnings kicking off. Maybe I had some unrealistic expectations, but I think I managed and I took the trades that made sense. I didn't get too far out of whack. Friday, my attention was diverted a little bit. I think that's the only thing that I really messed up on that cost me. Wednesday, I would take these two trades. I really would. Again, I might have managed the TWLO one here on Wednesday a little different. Maybe I would have taken some profit when it hit that level up there, but that ascending resistance. But as far as taking the trades, I would have taken both of these if I see them next week. So no regrets on that. So we had a red day all around here. Then had a red day Friday in the small account. And again, I'm very conservative, so I'm going to have less red days. But I'm going to have red days. I don't care how conservative you are. The only way that you're not going to have red days is that if you just don't trade at all. And we're here to trade. We're here to make money. So we can't get mad if our trades, that the setup works and the trade doesn't. You know, it's just part of what's going on here. So for the week, for both accounts, 1869.92, big difference from, you know, last week's total. And so far for the month, 8263.06. That's dealing with both accounts here. Now, I'm separating this because I have people that are just following my small account trades, and then I have people that are just following what I'm doing in my main account and with swings and everything. So I'm separating it. But the main focus is on growing the small account and showing you how you can make a living day trading. But you got to do it the right way. You know, you can't, there's certain skills and there's certain process, certain core fundamentals that you have to stick to. Now, you can branch off of that, but you always got to keep these core fundamentals intact because that's going to protect you as you grow. So for the month, 19, 20, I say 14. For the monthly earnings in the small account, 1923.27, and right now we're up to just over $7,000. Okay, so we're getting there. We picked up $2,000 in the last 3 weeks. Well, actually 2.5 weeks. So we got another week and a half to go, almost 2 full weeks. We do have a holiday on Monday, so that eliminates one of the days. But, you know, we'll see where we are. Thursday, probably around lunchtime Thursday, I'll initiate the wire and take out what we made, plus I will leave in the $125 for the platform fee. So, but we'll talk about that more at the end of next week. So that's where we are. Guys, all of these trades I share live in real time. You get to see them as they're actually happening. Now, obviously, I can't stream both at the same time, but if I get in one, you're going to know about it, and it will get switched over so you get to see it happen live. So I don't ask you or want you to believe anything that you don't see or that I don't, you know, put out there. That's just the way I am. I'm like that too. You know, I don't care when anybody posts. It's easy to call out trades. It's a whole nother thing to actually execute them. So unless I see the execution, I just don't believe it. That's just me. And I ask you to do the same thing. You know, if you don't see it, don't believe it. It didn't happen. All right, guys. So take it easy. Have a great weekend. And I will catch you guys on Tuesday.